It's an early morning DrewCast, right, guys? I don't have any coffee, no Red Bull. It's early, so I'm just kind of out here. I'm trying to live a little, right? I'm trying to live a little before I start my day. But today I want to start off this episode with a small message for my male audience, preferably the younger male audience, because I do check the analytics on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, the whole nine. And yeah, a majority of my audience is males, right? And it's not to say that women can't enjoy my content or women don't enjoy my content, but the numbers don't lie and the stats don't lie, right? So I got to be real with myself. A lot of the people who watch me are men. So but I've talked about this before. My grandpa told me a story one time, right, that will stick with me forever, right? He was like, "Hey, if this is the person you want to marry, if this is the person you want to have kids with, start a family with, if this is your everything, you got to put her first. You're not putting her first, right? You want to start a family with this person, you want to have kids, but you're not putting them first." And when he told me that, it blew my mind. I was so late in the game because I had spent my early 20s with my priorities all over the place. They weren't in the right spots. I was treating people wrong. I wasn't acting like the man I am today or the man I'm trying to become. And for my younger male audience, it's never too late to start a foundation, right? You can start now, right? Who cares about high school popularity and who was lit and what's the latest trends? And like, no one cares about that, right? You will, as you get older, you will realize that like just no one cares about any of that stuff. So you have to make a decision for yourself. Do I start now or wait till I'm in my 30s and regret everything? Right? Because when I was in my early 20s, there was a girl I was dating. I wanted to start a family with her. I wanted her to be my wife. I wanted to have kids with her. And I didn't operate that way. Like that's the stuff that I wanted, but I didn't operate that way in the way that she needed. And now in my 30s, I regret it, right? I can't go back in time and change it, but I can change the way I move forward now, right? And I know a lot of you guys, a lot of my younger male coworkers, they have girls that they like and girlfriends and people they're interested in. And I would just straight up tell them, like, bro, start now. Start being the man they need now, right? You don't have to be like a billionaire or like a CEO or like a store manager, but you definitely can start now and you can definitely start laying that foundation now. You don't want to be like me in your 30s regretting everything. Everything's I wish I could go back. You don't want to do all that, right? And again, I was that age too. There was at that age the most stupid shit in the world was the most important stuff to me. You know what I mean? Like the boys and just impressing people who aren't here today. Like those people that I was trying to impress back in the day, they're not here right now. They don't check in on me. They don't care. They don't care if I'm dealing with like depression or alcohol problems. They don't care about any of that. So you gotta make that foundation for you, right? Start now. And that's the best lesson I can ever pass down to you guys, in my opinion. It's I learned too late, but it's never too late to make a change. My grandfather told me this stuff, and I, to this day, I'll never forget it, Grandpa. That's one of the most, it's one of the most important things anybody's ever taught me. Because, when we were growing up, especially for people in my generation, men didn't talk to each other, right? There was no collaboration, there was no mentorship. Like, it was feminine to talk about your feelings. You were this and that if you even showed any slight sign of like a feminine thing. So, I want to change that for the future generations. I want to be able to be somebody that, my friends can come to and ask for advice and, "Hey, Drew, what did you do when this came up in your life?" Like that's what I want to be, right? It's not that hard. I mean, young women too, you guys can take the same advice, right? Like obviously your trajectory is a little different, but you guys could take this advice, start now. It's never too late. Like again, that high school stuff it's lame. It's not important when you get into the real world, and you will find that out the hard way or you're going to find that out the easy way. So, but I'm going to start off with a little spoiler warning, guys, because we're going to be jumping into the next topic. So, The Penguin, if you guys haven't seen that show, I will get a little tiny bit spoilerish, but not too much. But this show's amazing. It might be one of the best shows I've ever seen. If you're a fan of The Sopranos, if you're a fan of, Goodfellas, any type of like mob movie, mob show, watch this show. It takes place in the DC universe. And let me explain. So James Gunn has the DCU, And then this is like the Matt Reeves Batman universe. Yes, it's under DC, but they're two different things. And a lot of people were like, oh, maybe the fans won't understand. Maybe the fans won't get it. Like, yeah, if you're an idiot, you won't get it. I don't think it's that hard for like fans to understand that, right? They do this thing, well, the fans will understand and they'll be confused. Yeah, then keep those fans away from me, right? Like if you can't read or like do any type of research or watch a video or an interview with James Gunn, then just stay away from me, bro. If you're like, well, how does this make sense if rapper Pat? Yeah, because it's different, dude. That's why the comics have always been that way. There's different storylines, there's different timelines. It's sometimes it's convoluted, but the comics are like that too. So, but the show, first of all, they don't really mention Batman and they don't really mention Bruce Wayne. That's my only real big gripe with the show. But so far they've done a good job at making it to where it doesn't matter. Right? Like, yes, I would love to hear about Bruce Wayne or Batman in this show, but they're not making it essentially a big deal, right? And so what you could say is this, like the Sony villain movies, right? Like Venom, Morbius, Craven the Hunter, right? They don't really talk about Spider-Man. They don't really mention Peter Parker. They don't mention any of that. And I feel like those movies have failed because of that. Right? Yeah, how are you going to be in the Spider-Man universe and you're one of his biggest villains, yet you guys don't mention him, you don't talk about him, you don't do any of that, right? My only gripe. This show does a really strange thing where like it doesn't really feel like that. Like yes, it's in the Batman universe. Yes, he's there, but it isn't like I'm not mad because they don't mention Batman. Like that's how well they've done the show. It looks good, the acting's good, and some people, a lot of people have said that Sophia has stole the show. She has. I mean, it obviously the show's called Penguin, so the show's about Oz. And I do have a friend who straight up told me like, "Hey, it's not the Sophia show." Like, but okay, like she's hot, dude. We don't, right? That's where the whole, "Hey, Sophia, you want me to light one of your cigs? You want me to be your driver? You want me to fucking that's where that's where that comes from because that's how popular she is. The actress is probably going to win an award for this role. I mean, hands down, that's probably what's going to happen. So she's doing great. Now, if they do other characters from this universe in a show format, give us Harvey Dent becoming the Gotham's lawyer, right? Give us the Joker at Arkham. Give us Harley at Arkham. Give us, I don't know, like, I would be interested in seeing that. Like a Joker at Arkham show? Bro, like, give us an actual Joker instead of the one we got. Like, not a musical bullshit. Give us an actual Joker, right? That would be amazing. So, if you guys haven't seen the show, I highly recommend it. Right now, they're on episode 6, and they're hour long episodes. That's kind of where Disney has failed in the last recent years because the Disney shows are like a half hour each, which I don't understand why they keep doing that. Hour shows are probably the most successful shows of all time. You get a lot of character development. We have time to fall in love with the characters. We have time to hate characters. There's just more time to soak in what the writers and the directors are trying to do. So, but yeah, to end this episode off, I'm gonna talk about a clip that me and Sam did. We posted a clip about Operation Paperclip. It did really good numbers, by the way. And if you guys don't know, Operation Paperclip is, basically after World War II, we brought over Nazi scientists. They're basically the godfathers of NASA. Well, a lot of our rocket technology came from them. And I always say that like America sold their soul when it comes to Operation Paperclip because yeah, we did get NASA. Yeah, we did get these new rocket technologies, but at what cost, right? I mean, these guys were committing atrocious crimes during World War II. So you just bring them over and that's it. I mean, imagine if that happened today, like the scandal that would be. But since it happened in the age of no social media and people really weren't really educated on certain things, I kind of think that's why people let it slide. But the next day after that, I posted a clip about Project Bluebeam, right? And then I noticed that it wasn't really getting a lot of views, it wasn't getting traction or interaction with the followers that I have. So I was like, I wonder why. I look, they said I committed a community guideline strike. And I was like, but why though? And they said for misinformation. And I'm like, well, I never said Project Bluebeam was real. It's a hypothetical. right? It's like, what if this could happen? And essentially, Project Bluebeam is if the world governments got together, staged an alien invasion, and created the one world government, right? Now, I'm not saying that's real, but that is something that could happen. And I've seen, especially on TikTok and YouTube, I've seen creators post nudity, harmful pranks. I've even seen big creators talk about Project Bluebeam, and their videos are still up. They're not getting demonetized or community guidelines strike. And to me, it's just sad because is it because I'm a smaller content creator? That could be. But it's like you guys are just picking and choosing what to go against the TOS now. When I go on TikTok and I see nudity, I'm like, okay, but this clearly goes against the TOS, but it's right now sitting with like 400,000 likes. And you get it, right? So, because it's like when I talked about the lizard people thing, right? And I know Sam and you guys like to laugh, which is funny. A lot of it was satire. That's how I ended up getting onto that Hulu show. But essentially, I was like, hey, what if there was a group of dinosaurs that became intelligent, right? What if there was a group of dinosaurs that, were that kind of became us but different? And when the cataclysm happened and Earth got hit with the meteor and stuff, like, what if they were able to escape, hide? What if they were able to essentially just hide themselves, right? And how was that misinformation? I just, again, it's a hypothetical. It's like, okay, like, what if, right? So it kind of bugs me because it's like you guys, because like this stuff is a lot of it's becoming public knowledge now, right? Like we could all admit, like a lot of this, like the people that are going to Congress, whistleblowers, they're talking about the Pentagon has secret UFO retrieval programs, and so does the CIA. Like this stuff is gonna start becoming more publicly known, and the tinfoil hat people are gonna be like, "Hey, told you." And I'm not gonna say I won't do that from time to time, but I definitely will be like, "Hey, like now that this is public knowledge, are you guys gonna stop flagging videos? What happens now? Are you guys going to stop saying that this is misinformation?" Right? And especially like I'm okay with getting hit with community guideline strikes if the playing field is fair. Like if you're going to hit me with it, cool, I'll take the penalty. But if I go on TikTok and YouTube and I see a bunch of nudity and I see all this crazy stuff, I'm going to be like, what was that? Like you guys like just you're cool with this being up but not cool with this being up. Like you gotta at some point just stick up for yourself, and that's what I'm doing here. So, but yeah, that is tonight's episode, guys. I know it's really short, but we got Halloween this week. I really hope you guys stay safe for Halloween. There's a lot of drunk people at Halloween. There's a lot of stupid people. They do a lot of dumb stuff. So if you guys are going trick or treating with your kids or family, stay safe. I'm gonna be going trick or treating with my nephew. And if you don't celebrate Halloween, go hang out with your family, go see a movie, and I still hope you guys stay safe because again, the holidays are some of the most craziest times and people just don't act right sometimes. So, but yeah, that is the DrewCast, guys. You can catch us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, all that good stuff, Spotify, Apple Podcast. And until next time, peace.